So I grew up in Detroit, Michigan. I live out of Los Angeles, California. But the journey is crazy how I got here. It went from from there to there to there to there to there around the world, and ended up in California.
Hmm.
Uh, I guess it's one of those how can I say long ranger stories.
Right. Do you love it in California or you miss in Detroit?
You know what? I don't miss the weather. I don't like the snow. I'm too spoiled out here with the good weather. Almost what 300 days, well, 340 days a year.
Yeah.
Uh, but I do miss like the calmness of Detroit. Not so much traffic. A lot, 5 times cheaper to live there.
I'm
You know
trying to
what I'm
tell
saying?
you.
So I'm just trying to figure out a happy ground. I might go to Arizona somewhere soon. So I can just kind of just chill out, but still get the good weather.
Exactly, exactly. So now tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you get into the music industry? How long have you been doing this?
It's crazy. I've been doing music for about, I'll say about 10 years. I started in 2009. Started off in a group called Cobain. Now it's crazy because I was never a rapper. I grew up with a lot of friends who were musicians, rappers, and I was just one, just a spectator, just sit there and watch. And I was more into like going to school and sports and things like that. So I went to university on a track scholarship. So that's where my world was at, running track and trying to go
Right.
to the Olympics. So after university, I ended up going to the military, and so in the military you have a lot of downtime. So I was with all these guys from like Baltimore, New York City, Texas, and they would just freestyle every day. So I spent about 500 days in Iraq. It
Oh,
was like
wow.
a 16-month tour. Every day they was rapping. So it got to the point where I started rapping with them. It got to the point where I got so nice with the freestyle. It was like they all thought I wrote them down to come to the cipher with them every time we had downtime. Because so that's kind of how it started. So when I got back when I got back to Detroit after when I first leave and got back from Iraq, and everyone was rapping, I kind of started jumping in the cipher and blew all their mind because they didn't never expect it from me. So that's how I got started, and then from there I linked up with Revolver from Cobain, and we just started putting out some more conscious type music in the beginning, and eventually I started doing my solo thing under rhyme schemes. My music style is like a fusion because I started off as a traditional hip hop person. I work with artists like Keith Murray. I got songs with Keith Murray. I got songs with artists from the Terror Squad, from the Dog Pound. So I started off with like the whole '90s golden era type of flow, because that's when I grew up listening to. But that's only one part of my personality. So now I'm starting to make more like fusion music where I'm mixing soca with reggaeton, with Afro beats, with so all different type of cross genres right now. And this seemed to be more comfortable for me because I'm feeling the music and it's so easy. It kind of complements my voice and my flow and everything. So I'm kind of liking where it's going right now. With songs I got like Tifa Wine, songs like Paradise that I just dropped. It's kind of like my style, my new style and who I really am comfortable with. Yeah, definitely. I got Paradise right now. I'm pushing. We just hit 1.3 million views on the dance video, so I'm excited about that. It's getting played in some of the biggest markets throughout Africa and Europe. Even here in LA, like some of the station local, independent artists can't get on. I'm on some of the major stations with people tuning in their car. So I'm kind of excited about that, pushing the track Paradise. Before that, I had a track called Runaway with Deep Pace and Amber Lulu from Tanzania. That one's actually making waves as well. Uh, it's more like a bongo flavor, Afro beat slash Middle Eastern type sound
Hmm.
mixed with that. And then I dropped the one before that was Tifa Wine. We actually shot the video in the Caribbean with Nashu from Guadeloupe. And yeah, just pushing that kind of sound. So I got some stuff in the works too that I'm working on right now while we're in quarantine. But uh, that's kind of what I got out right now. Well, I like Davido and I like Kid and I like their style. But my favorite artist right now is Burna Boy.
Mm.
Uh, Burna Boy has like I was a fan of his for a long time, but I watched how this guy developed his sound to a point where he got African Giant album where he got a perfect sound. He was able to like master it, and that's why it became such a good album. So he's a great influence because musically, his producers, Healthy Vibes, and all of them from Nigeria. It's just been like, it's crazy how they put it. It's kind of like when you hear Nas' first album, you know, if you want to talk about hip hop. You see how Nas, when he first came out, straight out the hood, but he's just spitting them stories. I felt like I was from New York when I was hearing that. But then you had the production on there, all these greats that was on there producing his first album and giving New York that, you know, like letting you know we coming. So that's kind of like how I get that same feel with Burna Boy on this album. Kind of like he found his groove and he kind of like let it out right there. Cause a lot of them, but you know, I definitely want to collaborate. I want to collaborate with the Marley Brothers. I really like Damien, how genius he is, and Steven and all those, how they just musicians, you know. It's like, it's weird because some people have a great dad like that, and sometimes the kids don't be as great as the dad, but these guys are just super talented. It's not so in your face like it is back, you know, in Brooklyn or whatever on the East Coast, but it is pockets here. We got a lot of Belizean people here. We have a lot of, you know, a lot of West Indian. We have some Panamanian people. We have some people, and surprisingly enough, I did a show before the lockdown happened over in end of February with Diamond Platinum from Tanzania. He came out, and I was one of the acts under the bill, and it was like 7,500 people there, and it was like they all were African, East African. Some people were traveling from the East Coast to come see him in LA. Man, favorite artist. It's kind of hard because it changes. You know, it's us fans of music are fickle. Because sometimes we be in one mood of our life and we love somebody to death. And then it's like when I was growing up listening to music, I loved Nas. Nas was like my favorite. I thought that was like the template of an actual rapper, like the vocabulary usage, the flow pattern. It don't matter what beat he was on, just like if you listen to the words, you're gonna be on a journey. But you know, as things start to change, I started liking artists, you know, from different places, you know. So it was that period of time. So like right now, I like an artist from Panama, Kafu Banton. His style of music, how he was once Rasta, that he kind of changed into like the plainer style, and then now he's like making a mixture of all of them together. I listen to everything from like the R&B to the reggae, salsa music, just everything, just pretty much everything. But I always was a different kid as myself, you know, so I've always like did everything different than what was the mainstream. You know, whatever was playing on the mainstream, I didn't really mess with. So it's kind of like one of those type of thing, rebellion. My mom would like, she would play the music and then she would just like try to dance with me and stuff, teach me how to dance, you know, stuff like that. So I listened to a lot of music based on my mom, you know, introducing me to the more the cultural stuff. You know, and also blues, maybe jazz, all that stuff is just cultural, you know, and came from my mom, you know, but growing up, you know, my friends introduced me to like the hardcore rap and, you know, language, because it was, if you see, people look back on hindsight, you know, that's my stuff. But when we was growing up, like that stuff was just being invented, you know, like hip hop was just really just kind of elevating and being invented around like the late 80s and 90s. It was really kind of just coming. So it was something still kind of new. So people didn't know what to make of it. They just knew it was something hot. So it was kind of one of those things. I was learning, you know, as you learning as a young boy growing up, at the same time, I'm actually learning what this music is, you know? So it was crazy. Now that you take me back on the journey, it makes me think, yeah, like, because I didn't even know the languages they were speaking, because they was talking in a way that it wasn't so simple, but it was so crafty. So now when I listen back to it, I'm like, oh, you know, but then I was like, damn, like, I couldn't rhyme schemes all day long, 24 hours a day. You know, no, I'm just playing. You know what's funny? My daughter, I try to introduce my daughter. I have a younger daughter. I play music for her, right? And it's like, I try to introduce her to new songs. And if it's not my song, she like, that's not my favorite song. Put on your song. And I'm trying to introduce her to like, you know, other stuff. And she just wanted to play my music. But then she did fall in love with a lot of soca music. Like, it's this one song called Legend by Shawn Marshall. And she loves this song. Like, I'm like, it's a 5-year-old, you know? You know, she's a 5-year-old listening to like soca music, you know, so it's crazy. Then she listened to Afro beats I listened to, and it surprised me some of the stuff that she remembers just listening to music in the car with me. But yeah, I kind of have like a mixture of everything. I like playlists, you know. Of course, I have a lot of Afro beats playing, a lot of like East African music playing. It depends on the mood I'm in. I might have some like, you know, salsa music playing. It just all depends. But right now, since I'm not in the car, I ain't playing nothing. I'm creating my new stuff. No, I'm just joking. Exactly. Yeah, every now and then I'm busting out some African music or some dance hall, some reggae or something like that. You know, it's kind of that's kind of my go-to. Like if I want to listen to music, I'm listening to some dance hall music. Like that's Afrobeats and dance hall. It's kind of like my go-to. I'm not really into. It's funny because being a hip hop artist, I really don't listen to a lot of hip hop music right now. At least I want to go back or I catch it on K-Day here.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like it changed. The hip hop of what I was speaking before has changed to what the hip hop is today. So I mean, it's not saying they're not talented. It's just kind of like I reckon I don't live like that. So I can't really relate to what I don't know. My favorite one is Island Flame. It's like a mixture of like, I guess, rap, reggaeton. And it's like, I always get people like, you know, the part that goes from English and then it goes straight to Spanish, like seamlessly. And people just don't expect the Spanish to just come out like that. So it's like, I like when the beat drop and it's just hit them right with Spanish. So that's kind of one of my favorite ones to perform. I get a good reaction out of a song that makes me feel good. Like from any other artist?
Anyone, yeah.
That Burna Boy song, Anybody. That song just gold. It's just like, it's kind of like, I don't know what it is. It's like Afro beats mixed with salsa or whatever. It's just crazy. And it's just like, I hear that song, I'm just like, let's go.
Yeah.
You know, so it's kind of one, that's my thing right there. It's a learning process. I think every musician should listen to their own stuff, not from just like, you know, ego standpoint, but like to kind of learn. Like I noticed, like I became a better musician by listening to my stuff. Like I know because at the time you think it's the greatest thing you ever made, but then when you make something else, you go back and listen to that, you realize how much you evolved just by studying. So like even from like I got a lot of good reactions off the song Tifa Wine I did. Like, you know, I got millions of views. You know, I was performing, it was everywhere. And I even got booked with shows. Like I did a show over in I think maybe Queens, maybe with Shinsia and Shatta Wale and all those guys. Okay. Based off getting the popularity off that song. I got placed on a lot of like dance hall YouTube channels, a lot of that stuff for that song Tifa Wine. And I thought that was the greatest thing when I first heard it because it had that energy and that, you know, that certain feeling. But then when I made this song Paradise with Shady Blue, I could see where I made the mistakes on Tifa Wine to this song. And I did a lot of features in between those songs, like, you know, whether I'm soca, reggaeton, mixing Spanish, English, that I kind of like crafted myself a little better when I got to this song. But you listen to your stuff, you kind of like know, like, yeah, I messed up here, or I should do this better, or I should arrange this better. And it just all comes with time. So I just tell artists, you know, if you got a song, don't be scared to put it out, get feedback, and just get better on the next one. I am, but I know what I'm looking for. Like, cause my competition is not like the local person. My competition is like, you know, Vibes Cartel or Drake or whoever. So I kind of try to hear their sound quality, you know, and I say in my competition because that's who I'm trying to compete against. And so when I hear their sound quality, I want to make sure my sound quality is matching theirs. Like far as like if it got to get mixed and master, I need to like make sure I hear a certain sound. So I'm confident in my ability to make a song, but it's just the arrangement, the mixing, the mastering is what I really particular on. I would sit and listen to a song 400 times to make sure that mix is right before I put it out to the world. Yes. Reime Schemes on all platforms, and I spell it ReimeSchemes. That's all platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Reime Schemes. My website, my merchandise, my tour information is ReimeSchemesBiz.com. You get everything about me on there. You know, we pushing heavy right now the Paradise song. We did a couple Paradise challenges. We had dance videos going all around the world. Now we have a current one right now where we're pushing a verse. So we got artists submitting verses to get on the song as a remix. And that's what we're pushing right now. And just get that Paradise, man. It's that good feel right now. Just get some good music, happy music while we go into these tough times.
I know that's right.